Good evening and welcome to the Youth Ablaze show with InterFace Gambia, showing on Ben TV, GRTS TV and Mamos TV. Today on the show with me I have great young men and a lady, of course, in the house who will be co-hosting with me. Her name is Jessie, who has been on the show before. Welcome, Jessie.
Thank you.
Also, I have with me Jason Nicholson Porter, who is in the middle, and then you have Stephen, and on the far left I have Minister Emmanuel Talley with us on the show. Today's show we are looking at young people and the supporting network surrounding young people, enabling them to do what they need to do, carry on their visions and make sure that they get to the right places. The reason why I have these amazing men and women here today with me is because I have seen where you've come from. I have been following you, not stalking you, but following you, and I've seen the great work that you have been doing. First of all, we'll just go quickly to Jason. This is Jason's first time on the show, so welcome, Jason.
Thank you.
We'll just get Jason to introduce himself. Tell us what you do, what your background is.
Well, I'm a businessman slash vocal trainer slash praise and worship leader songwriter slash producer, husband, father. As well as kind of building up an artistry as well on myself as well at the moment. Most of my background is within the gospel field, singing and leading praise and worship, and then there is also I have experience working in the secular environment as well, doing a bit of production as well as doing BVs for some prestige artists.
Wow, amazing. He has a lot of slashes at the end of everything. And he's missed out one slash, which is, I have a silky voice. Like when he sings, the angels just, wow. And we'll probably get to hear a little bit of that. I don't know whether Steve is going to join it. Steve is going to join it, but I just join it, and just add to the flavor of it. But going back to the introduction, Stephen has been here with us before, very, very busy, part of the composers, an amazing drummer, I must say. Oh my God, he is just in that area. I don't think really I've seen anyone that can beat you. That's my, and I'm not flattering. I'm actually being very, very serious. Amazing drummer, and then you have Emmanuel, who I always want to call a Minister Emmanuel, but he's still doing that humble thing with me, but it's okay. Amazing minister of God. He ministers in songs. Now he plays the guitar. It's just awesome to have them here, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Today's show we're going to be looking at obviously the support network, and I know. Well, the reason why I have you guys here is because you've come a mighty long way. From the beginning, as I said, I follow you and I've watched you. I've seen where you've improved and the things that you're doing out there in the community. And I feel like you are the ones that young people should be looking up to say, okay, if this person can get to this place, I should be able to get to that place. And so sharing with us your support networks, how you've gotten to where you are. Jessie as well will be asking you some questions. But we'll just start first of all, vision. When we say vision, like a young person, in this generation, do you think young people have vision, and do they carry it on their sleeves, on their shoulder, like, this is my vision, I know what I want to do? What would your experience be? I know you minister, you play in most of the places where there are young people present there. What are your experience like when it comes to young people and visions? Anyone can start.
Well, with my experience, I find that young people have a lot of vision. They have many dreams, they have many aspirations. I think the issue is which one.
Yeah.
The issue is which one, because also you're not just dealing with, as a young person growing up, in our community today, your own vision. You're also dealing with the visions of your parents and your grandparents as well. So you're dealing with a lot in terms of having to juggle which one I really want to go. You know, I want to be in music, I want to be in artistry, I want to be a lawyer because mommy or daddy says so. Do you know, there's so much dynamics that come to it. So I do believe, from my experience, that there is young people that have vision. The issue is just really confirming which one am I going to actually walk in.
Which is obviously the most important thing, because if you don't know which one you're going to work with, then you don't know which steps, because like you're trying to juggle 20 things at the same time. What is your take on that, Emmanuel?
Like Jason said, it's the same thing that I see, but at the same time I realize that because they have a lot of visions and not knowing which one to focus on, some of them tend to not do nothing at all, because it's like, oh, I'm confused, I don't know which one to go for, so it's like, what do I do? And I have friends like that, but to me it's like I was in the same predicament, where since childhood I've always wanted to be a man of God. Music was not one of the things that I wanted to be, but I realized that in using what you have at the moment, because usually visions, we see the bigger picture, this is what I want. But to get to what you want, you have to use what you have at the moment. So with me, I knew that I had a voice. So the more I kept doing it, I realized that my purpose, my vision, the main vision that God has for me was also coming through. So it's not about being in a place of just saying that which one should I do, which one should I do. Do something,
and
at least. And then the rest will just follow. Yeah.
And I guess that then comes to the thought comes to the support network surrounding, obviously, how you then get to choose, okay, maybe this is the one I'm doing, or you're doing something, and you know, the support network around that. I know, Stephen, you started drumming at quite a very young age, drum of the year, age of 14. Was it? I think he can't remember. Yeah, and you know, obviously, coming from the background and the culture that we come from, African Caribbean, it's one of those things where it's either you're a doctor or a lawyer, somebody, you know, your pilot or something. It has to be. You can't come and say, oh yeah, I want to play drums for a living, or I want to be a man of God for a living. It's like, what? You know, how are you going to feed? Who's going to, you know? So along that side, how was your support network, Steven?
I think the thing is, coming from our background already in society, we are the minority. So, you know, being a creative is like it. That's where I feel like the talent lies a lot within our, you know, our generation of people. Like, there's a lot more creatives as opposed to labor jobs and those kind of things, but we don't get the support simply because statistically we're not supposed to do well. You know, statistically, like myself, a 20-year-old black boy is supposed to be on the road doing something, or in prison, or better yet, dead. That's how we're looked at. So it's like, unless you take that forward step and it's like, you know what, I'm going to be in the driver's seat, I'm going to dictate exactly what happens, no one's actually going to do it for you. That's just the reality. To go to, it's not like, you know, I feel very uncomfortable saying this, but other races, it's very easy for them to, I want to do this.
Yeah, which is true.
You know, immediately, you know, from school will support you doing it. School, they will give you whatever it takes. But, you know, because of where we're coming from and what we're known for, unfortunately, it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you know, do it yourself kind of thing. And unfortunately, unless you're going to do it yourself and you start, you know, reaping the benefits for it, that's when the support actually begins to come. That's when people start to see. I can say I've played in the band for 4 years now, and it actually isn't till the third year, which is just last year gone, people actually began to see these guys are actually something. Doing something. And that's when, you know, people start, oh, you guys are so good, yeah. And it's like, no, when we were down in the dumps, like really trying to.
We're trying to get you to notice us with everything we're doing.
We were trying to make you understand what we're trying to do. You didn't see it like that. You literally just thought, oh, it's just another group of boys again doing music. Because typically that's you know, that's the way out for a lot of boys, music or football.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, another set of guys doing music. And you know, until people start seeing the travelling and the shows and just, that's when it becomes, oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
the respect
is real now. The respect and
which is sad. I mean, it is sad, and that's where we see a lot of young people losing their way.
Exactly.
Like, for instance, I could use myself as an example. When I was growing up, by the age of 11, I started teaching Sunday school. I don't know where it came from. One day it just happened. I found myself in front of the class. And everybody, children, I'm talking about rich, snobby kids who would not listen to anyone, were listening to me, and I was thinking, okay, this is interesting. And I started doing it. But the support network was not there at all. I think out of my whole family, I was the first person to have their name written in the Methodist yearbook that they bring out to say, oh, this person has contributed this person. And then the support was just not there. So I just found myself drifting away bit by bit. And then I was in Africa. By then I was in Gambia. So it's not like here where there's just so much out there that, you know, there's a youth this, there's a youth that, there's a, you know, the place that you can go. So you find a lot of young people who are now stabbing themselves thinking, you know what, I've missed my opportunity. It's gone. Because sometimes I sit back and I'm like, have I missed it? Like, you know, that opportunity, has it gone because that support network was just not there? What are you thinking, Jessie? What questions do you want to throw at, or contributions you may have?
Firstly, I want to just add to the vision thing that you have to surround yourself with the people who have the same vision as you, and that will lead to the right support system, because you guys can support each other. When one person falls down, the other person can pick them up. That's what I do with my friends, and that's what we're hoping to carry on doing. And it's really hard being a young person with a vision, and then your parents are expecting you to be a certain way. Black parents, Africans, they try to make you live the life they didn't have, but then they don't understand that you have your own life, your own vision. You can't push somebody to be who you couldn't be, because maybe that's not what I want to do. If you wanted to be a doctor, I don't like science, maybe I can't do it. So they don't see that in that way, and we suffer because of what our parents are pushing us to be. And that's why I don't blame people who don't have a vision, because they're so used to being pushed to do things that they are not gifted in doing, that they've just given up. And support system, for me, I was lucky to find Joyce to help me out, because I had a time where I just couldn't be bothered with anything. And that's when you guys have experienced it, and you've been there, lived it. Now you can almost give a testimony and help other young people like myself who are going through that. So one thing I want to ask you guys is, how did you feel knowing that no one could help you guys, but you knew where you were going, you knew your vision, but you had no one to support you at a time?
I think for me, like Joyce said, you get to a certain age, you think, oh, I've missed my time and everything. And for me, as you guys know, picking up the guitar just a few weeks ago, I said to myself, no, I'm too old to pick up this instrument. But at the same time, I knew where I wanted to go. So I didn't wait for someone to come and invest in me. I didn't wait for someone to believe in me, because had I told someone, they'll probably be like, you haven't even mastered the piano, why are you going to jump on another instrument? So I wasn't working, but I made sure that any money that I got, I was paying for lessons. And you know, you have to believe and invest in yourself first before other people come in. So in terms of the support, like Stephen said, when people start seeing the fruits of what you have suffered, that's when they want to come in, you know. And it wasn't easy. It was very painful. I remember it's like learning how to drive. No one really enjoyed their first lesson, but you stuck to it. And now you change gears to see if there's no tomorrow. So it's like with me, my first ever learning how to play the guitar was painful. My fingers were hurting, and I said, you know what, this is long. But I have made a commitment to myself, and I've made a commitment to God to do it. So now people see it and they're like, oh wow, you're actually getting better. And now people want to, oh, you should do this, you should do that. So it starts with you first.
Yeah.
It starts with you first. You know, your mind, if you can overcome your mind, that's where you can win the battle.
Yeah, I think it's about doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
I think we need to move from that point of thinking, okay, you know, I'm not getting the support, I can't. So it's like, I grew up with this mentality that, you know what, the life that I had as a young person, I don't want my children to have that life. I want them to have a better life. So then what do I need to do? I can't keep wallowing in pity and thinking, oh, but my mom didn't do this and my dad didn't do what I wanted to do, and you know, the community didn't support me. I mean, and I think that's what is lacking in young people, the motivation to just be like, you know what, I'll just get up and try it. There's nothing, you know, it's not going to kill me to just get up and say, okay, let me just go to that interview, or let me just, you know, maybe do a little bit of singing and see how it goes, or maybe just take the drumsticks and start playing. And I love the analogy you gave about the driving. Yeah. When I started driving, I was like, oh no, this is not going to happen. I am never going to learn how to drive. Yeah. But 2-3 years on, I'm like, I changed the gear. I'm like, okay, is that you? Racing and all of that stuff, you know, trying to overtake someone, and that's just how it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to catch up more on your knowledge and draw out more from your experiences. So we'll be right back.
It's the 2017 London's annual Senegambian Cultural Weekend with a different style. There will be a cultural Tanabir Goody. It is called Goody Neha. Calling on all Senegambian people to come and be part of the night. Live at the Bowling Banqueting Shield, number 7 to 11 Barking Road, London. Independent nursing service, that's Faith Call, Queen Park Solicitors, InterFace Gambia TV, Supersonics Money Transfer, Yaram Arts, Damane, best bu kuñ ko netalil di nga jël sa baram mata ko bem docteur do ko tay.
There is a land not far away, where the sea meets the shore on a golden beach, where the river flows through the forest in 1,000 creeks, a place where people smile and say hello. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. The Gambia is the destination for a fabulous holiday. A love of nature is in the soul of the country. The many forests and parks teem with wildlife. Up in the trees, red and green monkeys gather and sometimes come down to play. Other natives of this forest are perhaps shy. If you love birdwatching, this is one of the best places in the world to see them. Over 560 species live in and migrate to our land. Organised tours with expert guides make it easy to spot some of the many rare species which abound in the forests. If it is luxurious surroundings and a warm welcome you're looking for, this is the perfect place. On the golden sands by the mighty ocean, our fabulous hotels offer everything modern travellers would expect. High quality, attention to detail, personal service and more. Imagine a private retreat buried deep in the forest. A special place to relax, recharge and get in touch with our culture and nature. So go discover the smiling coast of Africa.
You are the
This is what not giving up does. This is what it sounds like. This is what, doing what you want to do, what you've been called to do. This is what it sounds like. Welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Youth Ablaze with InterFace Gambia, showing on Ben TV, GRTS TV and Mamos TV. We're just having a chilling moment here, relaxing, enjoying the vibes. We wanted to give Steven a drum, but he needs some special touches that we can't afford. Exactly. But if you want to hear any of these guys, their stuff is on YouTube. We'll put up the link below so you can check it out. I mean, they're just awesome people. Instead of, it's good that you're supporting Beyonce and all these people, but these are people that you can actually get access to. These are role models that you can look up to because they have the experience, they have gone through those challenges, and now they're sitting here and they can sit down comfortably and say, yeah, you know what? I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So it's good to have you guys once again on the show. We've been talking about support network amongst young people who carry visions, and these young people, young at heart and by age, they carry vision, and so we're just hearing out how they've gotten to where they've gotten to. One of the things I've noticed with all three of you is consistency. Which is something that nowadays is just lacking in every area, where a lot of young people, not all young people, I should not generalize it, there are quite a lot of ambitious young people like yourself, but consistency has just been one of those things that people don't pay attention to that much anymore. And I feel is one of the reasons why people don't get to the place that they're supposed to go to. So tell us, how have you kept yourself consistent, Stephen? You start us off.
Do you know what? Like you said, that's, to me personally, that's the key to anything. If you're not consistent, but it's just not, it doesn't, for the three of us here, I don't even know everyone's story, but it didn't happen overnight. Do you know what I mean? Something I've been doing for almost God knows how long, I'm really now seeing it bear its fruits. Do you know what I mean? And the thing I find with, especially young people, I'm a lot younger than the rest of the guys, but it's nowadays between the age of 18 and 22, there's so much, social pressures now that I feel like that's what just causes people to just draw back from a lot of things. So it's someone's real ambition is to be a lawyer, and to be a big time lawyer, to make a lot of money, you have to go through a long process because you got to do your first degree, then the LLB and all of that. However, because of nowadays, the cool thing is to drive a nice car, to wear a nice watch, to look a certain way, to dress a certain way.
Pressure,
big labels.
Exactly. In your mind, you can do that if you are that lawyer making, 6 figures a year. But to you, seeing how long that's going to take,
the process,
and seeing some people with no vision and no mind just having all of that for doing the wrong thing so easily, that takes the consistency out of you, because then you think to yourself, how comes this person that doesn't do anything, they've got it all, but me that I'm doing something proper, and I've been there. Do you know what I mean? I've been there because I've come from, an area where I'm surrounded by a lot of negativity and a lot, and it's to me, it's just I'm doing something legitimate here, legal here, something, with drive, with ambition, but it's at a point, it seemed that some are better off than I am. So it's I've been frustrated before. I've been, at a place where it's just do you know what, let me just do something else. But it's where the consistencies come from is and then bringing this back to a more spiritual standpoint, I genuinely feel like I have a calling to do what I'm doing. And me, if I was to stray away from that, I'm then going against what has been written for my life, to simply go and do something because of what because of the ideologies of the world,
of what you can,
of what I should be. I'm not doing what I should be doing because of what I'm seeing others do. But your calling and my calling is different. This is before I was even born. This is the story that's been written. You know, you're gonna go through this. You're gonna face maybe 2 years of hardship. Something's gonna go well. Then you might come back down. But the greater goal and the end result cannot compare to
what
anything you're gonna go through. So it's just about, you know, mentally just being consistent, being strong. Else, if you're not strong and you don't understand, like what I'm saying, that this is actually written out for me, you will give up. You will just be like, you know what, this is long, I can't do this no more. This is, why am I struggling when I can just do something else and I won't be struggling? So for me personally, that's where like the consistency is coming for me.
Yeah, that definitely, that understanding your goal is one key thing to being consistent. You have to understand your goal in order to be able to be consistent, because if you don't understand it, then it's easy to just say, you know what, hands up, I'm fed up. With Jason, you're married, you have kids, you're doing ministry, you're doing quite a lot. How is your consistency like? How do you find that balance?
How do I find the balance? To be really honest with you, it's very difficult. Let's be honest. However, there's three things that come to mind. The first thing that comes to mind is, if you build it, then it will stand. If you don't build it, it won't exist. That's the first one. The second one I've come to realize is, if you, taking it back to that spiritual standpoint, I believe that I am called for it as well. The issue I find though is that, you know, the good book says many are called, few are chosen. The problem is that many are called. And I believe, me personally, most people are chosen. The reason why I say that is because they were called in the first place. You know, and they didn't respond to the call. See, and what pastor said this to me once. Actually, an apostle. His name is Brian Meadows. He said this. He said the distance between a call and response is disobedience.
Wow.
And so when you fall in line with disobedience, you basically fall in line with everything else that comes with it: rejection, frustration, heartache. Do you know what I mean? And that puts you in a completely different environment. That then layers a path that literally can destroy you, can destroy others. Do you know what I mean? And then sets you up for failure. Do you know what I mean? You could be successful in the bad thing that you're doing, but it's still failure. Because of the fact that the end of the road is still death and hurt and pain and suffering, frustration. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's where I've learned to find the balance is understanding the call, responding to the call, and making sure that it's been a priority, communicating that with my wife, you know what I mean, and making sure that my children have an understanding that whatever I'm doing, I'm still going to balance out what I need to do as a father. I'm still going to balance out what I need to do as a husband. So it's just making sure that there is nothing that goes beyond the limits of what it takes for me to be a husband and what it takes for me to be a father, and making sure that God is who I believe is true, is at the center of everything. Do you understand?
Whoa! You're taking. I have goosebumps right now. I've zoomed into another dimension. I'm like, whoa, okay. Didn't expect that, but that was just whoa. Okay, I'm trying to kind of. But in light of what you said about not following that path, that calling, that you yourself will be destroyed, many others will be destroyed. And this, I think, for me, I always look at that point about the people that you're meant to impact, that you wouldn't impact, and then their lives will be destroyed based on the fact that you have not responded to your call, which is one of the things I think it's one of those guilt that keeps me going. Like, I'm thinking, if I don't take that step and I don't speak to that person, and then they end up doing that, what would my end result be? Do you understand? Because I think a lot of people think that, oh, you have to be standing in the pulpit to be making an impact. You have to be, doing something where you're constantly, one-on-one with somebody to make an impact. No. In every area of your life, whether you're drumming, whether you're singing, whether you're playing the guitar, whether you're going to school, whatever you're doing, there is an impact that you're making on somebody else's life. You never know who is watching you.
It's true.
And that's the most amazing thing. The amount of people that have come up to me and said, oh, I want to be like you. And I'm thinking,
are you sure?
It's true though.
Are you talking to me? I'm like, are you talking? But they do, and I get a lot of young people who come and say, I just like you. I like the way you do things, and I'm thinking, you can't be talking to this woman right here, because I know the things that I'm going through, and I know the challenges that I'm facing, and I'm trying to keep it together, But
and in addition to it, the thing is, at that point, you somewhat feel a bit ungrateful. That you've not behaved, but you've had thoughts in such a manner that it's fun. Like exactly what you said. I was saying it this week to someone, because I've literally left my house just to go to the gym, and someone has on my high road. Someone's literally approached me to ask for a picture, and to me, it's like I've gone to school on this road. I've gone to college on this road. My mum sends me to the shop on this road, and someone is now stopping me on this road because they've seen what I've, and I properly remember, like, you're walking by yourself, I'm thinking, I got this show, that show, I need to sort this out. But this is long. I don't want to do this show. I can't. And it's just like someone is actually sitting down, and following every single thing, and that's what's driving them. Like, and to me, like I say this all the time, I wouldn't even say 20% of where I envision myself to be in a couple of years. But to someone else, it's like this is God. Like, he's the God of what he does. There is nothing. You can't beat him. Like, that is it. You can't beat Emmanuel. You can't beat Jason. Like, that's it. And it's like, we'll be there. Like, but bro, like, so what happens when I in myself feel like, now I'm. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I've had to learn to think. Do you know what? No matter if I'm doing a show with 10,000, 2,000, 500, there's someone in there. They needed to come to the show. They just needed to come here. They needed to see you do what you're doing, because
to get that motivation.
Like, literally after, and it's weird. Like, even in, I'm more now in the secular side of things, and you guys know in church. In church, people are always like, oh, but why don't you do gospel and this? Someone came to our church. They're like, you guys need to start doing something for the Lord, and I'm like. And I pulled on. I was like, Auntie, listen. I was like, what is actually the point, like, of me what's the point of me sitting here every Sunday playing drums to Christians? There's kind of no point. And I say that in the sense of I'm more or less preaching to the choir. These are people that understand
the word already.
Christianity already. I'm out there with people that don't understand. So it's like, all the time, someone says, people, what's your secret? That's the worldly thing to ask someone. But the second I open my mouth to say, this is not something. Yesterday, someone said, who taught you how to? I said, I promise you, nobody has sat me down to teach me. Like, it's only ever been, I just knew how to play. It's a gift from God and church. Those are the only two places. And to someone be like, okay, I have to go to church to get this.
Exactly, but that's you bringing people in.
And then a lot of the time, it then turns into, so do you feel like Christianity has helped you? I'll be like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. Because I'm playing yesterday, someone was in who was like, do you mind giving us a second? We want to pray. And they were like, you guys pray. And I was like, what is it? Because we're at the O2, we're not allowed to pray before we go and do a show. And it's like, so that I won't say I argue it a lot, but it's like I go head to head with people a lot on, that's where you need to be pushing us.
No,
that's
but
where we need to be.
It's good for people to understand that, because you know, and I think that's one of the, we'll have that topic later on, you know, that you know, do it for the Lord, you know, it's not, you don't have to do it in the church. The whole point of doing it for the Lord is doing it outside, so that you bring other people to the Lord. So we'll definitely touch on that topic. That is one interesting one. But for you, Emmanuel, you minister in a lot of places where I've seen young people being impacted left, right, center. I mean, some of the testimonies I've been seeing on your walls, and you know, things that are happening. Tell us about that. Tell us about how your ministry with young people, how do you find that, and what changes?
For me personally, I always see it as it's a privilege for me to have the gift that I have. Some of the young people wish that they could sing or play an instrument the way I do. So when I'm singing, when I'm playing an instrument, I'm playing it as if I was them. Because I always say to people that I need God more than you need Him. So I'm not coming to just entertain you. I'm coming to cry out to Him just like you are. And I believe that's one thing that the young people relate with when they see me, and also the passion that I have.
Yes.
When I leave a place, my whole shirt I can squeeze the sweat out. Not because I like to jump around, because you can jump around and still go to hell. But but one thing that I always say to myself, that you have to develop a lifestyle behind closed doors that comes out in the open.
Keep preaching, bro.
I have something which I call the promise. And people are like, what's the promise? And I said, the promise is, when I started learning the guitar, one of the reasons why I've gotten better at it is that I made a promise to God that every day before I go to bed, no matter how late it is, I'll play one song for you on the guitar.
Wow.
So I can get on my 3 a.m., I'll pick up my guitar and play a song for God before I sleep. So when I'm sitting here and I'm playing it, it's something I already do when no one is watching.
It's a lifestyle.
So I believe that with me, I love doing that, because one thing I did say to God is that give me an amazing voice that will attract people, and when they come, then you do your thing. So like Stephen is saying that people may be seeing him playing certain kind of gigs, and they'll be like, why are you doing this? Do it for the Lord, do it for the Lord. But there is a specific sound that God has given to him, or given to us, that when we do, so that I never really understood why I had to pick up the guitar. Like, it was a prophetic word that was given to me, and it confirmed what I already knew in me. And just a couple of days ago, I was sitting on the DLR with my friends, and I just picked up the guitar and I started playing on the DLR, and my friends were all singing. A Muslim girl in a full hijab came in, stood afar off, kept looking at us, then started drawing closer, then closer, and came to us. It's like, do you guys have a YouTube channel? We were singing gospel, but she didn't know that. But she was attracted by that. How do we win people out there if we ain't going out there? Like Stephen said, the church already know the word. Some of these people don't. You know, and how we're going to go out there. So to me, the youth, and one thing that I believe they also relate with as well is my look. Because I didn't do it on purpose to attract the youth, don't get me wrong. So honestly, I do get a lot of bashing about it. Oh, you're a man of God, why is your hair like this? You're a man of God, why have you grown your beard like this? And to me, it's like, just as you would have that conversation with people about things, I have that conversation. Now, I always come with the, you know, David was in the wilderness, they have no
The Bible says, come as you are.
But yeah, he was the one that God picked, because he said, this is the man after my own heart. So I'm in a place where I believe, as Jesse would say, the youth are in a place where they get judged so much about how you look. But my thing is that stop trying to change the outer before the inner, because when someone's inner is fixed,
that's it.
It comes out. Because what you're seeing me do is what I've been doing inside, inwardly. So when I sing, they're like, oh wow, they're anointed. I tell them, you can do the same. It's just about you spending that time and being consistent. You know, this promise thing that I've said, I've never missed a day. It's been months since I started. The only time I missed a day was when it was 31st night.
Yeah.
So you know that you're in church till about 3 a.m. By the time you get home, it's like 6, and I was knackered. And even that, I woke up and I felt so bad. I was like, God,
it's consistency.
Yeah, it's
consistency is the key. It is a very important thing. Jesse, you know, we've been doing a lot of the talking. Please, any question or any contribution you might have that you want to put out there before we wrap up?
What Jason said stole my head about your calling, and if you don't obey by it's disobedient, things like that. And that really touched me, because that's something I've been doing my whole life, and I know most young people do it, because what is your calling? Some people don't know their calling. And with me, although everyone told me my calling, I just don't believe. I don't believe it, but I'm still believing. I still believe in. I'm young. I'm still enjoying life. You know, that was last year, not now anyway. But yeah. So when you were saying about, I remember when I used to do ministry with Rebecca, we used to go to church and they used to tell me that if you don't obey, if you don't like follow what God has sent you to do on earth, He's gonna take something away from you that's gonna make you feel like I need to follow what God wants me to do. And it didn't make sense to me. I was just thinking, but I love dancing and I'm dancing now, so that's my calling. But it wasn't my calling, because if it was my calling, I was still doing it up to now, but I'm not doing it up to now. I used to think maybe going to church was a thing, you know. I've been to how many churches in my life? I used to think maybe join the choir, you know, do something good in church. I'll join the choir, after 2 months, I'll sit back down. And then I used to think, yeah, I just love speaking, you know, I'm a person who likes to talk, but then I realized maybe when I do talk, it sounds like I'm preaching, but to me, I'm just talking, but you are saying I'm preaching, which I don't understand what you're talking about. So when I was told, you need to start taking it seriously, I was like, okay, cool. When I'm 21, I'll do it. I went to uni 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago. Came back, my sister died. I was like, yeah, God, I'm coming. I'm coming. And even when I did that, I was like, you don't have to take my sister away from me to know that, you know, my life is in danger as well. I need to start praying before it's my turn, because we were still young. She was young. I'm young as well. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I still stumbled after that. Then I was like, maybe I should take it slowly by getting baptized first, you know, and start making a journey with God. And up to now, I still stumble sometimes. I'm trying so hard to stay consistent with the decision I've made for myself to follow my calling, because I've been disobedient with what God has called me to do, and He slapped me so many times, and I don't want no more slaps. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stay consistent this time around. But that's why listening to you guys has made me realize that sometimes you don't need anyone to push you. You need to push yourself. You need to believe in yourself and believe in God, and make decisions for yourself, but the right decisions, and see where it takes you.
You're right.
That is awesome. This is the part I don't like about the Youth of Play show, because sometimes it's like the time just goes when you're at that peak of it, and you know, these are busy men and women, you know. So, but thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Any last words, any last encouragement for someone out there who's watching and thinking, you know what, I want to do something, but I don't know how to go about it. Like, what would your advice be? Just a quick word that you might have for someone out there.
One thing I do know is this. When it comes to making a decision on what you are called on, the call is basically something that pulls you. You always, you have a sixth sense about it. Many people have said something about it to you, and you've been like, no, I don't want to, or yeah, I want to. One thing I'd like to encourage you to do is just step out in your call. That could be electrician. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because Einstein, let me just use him as an example. They considered him as a madman. They considered him a madman. Out of every science fair, every science award, everything that he did and he participated in, they considered him crazy. And he was the one that found electricity.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So it may look like you're crazy, you don't know what you're doing, but you know what you're doing. So just keep at it.
That's it. Keep at it.
Just keep at it, Stephen.
Just don't be afraid. Literally, there's just being afraid. You're your biggest obstacle at the end of the day, and no one's gonna do it for you. No one has the heart and the zeal to do, and no one will ever understand your dream and your vision like you do. Whether it be in a group, I'm in a group of 4 guys. As close as we are individually, everybody has their own aspirations. If you see any interview you've ever done, and someone will be like, "So what's you guys' goal?" I always say, you're gonna have to go around individually. I can't speak for everybody. Do you know what I mean? I'm the only one that understands. You're the only person that understands. This is what I want to do. It's not about what someone wants you to do, but it's yourself. You're in the driver's seat. Do you know what I mean? So just don't be afraid to step out and do what you want to do.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Minister Emmanuel.
Mine is use what you have. It's as simple as that. I watched a video which went viral a few days ago, and it was a girl. I think she was either born without hands or her hands were cut off, and she literally came for this audition in front of thousands of people, and they asked her, "What are you gonna do?" And she said, "I'm gonna play the piano and sing." So everyone was looking at her like, "What? You don't have hands?" And she said, "They said, so what are you gonna use to play the piano?" And she said, "The fingers in my leg."
Wow.
She went on the stage, and I kid you not, played the piano with her feet.
And she sang.
And even modulated.
Wow.
Now, that is me that I've been playing piano for years, I can't even modulate without transposing the keyboard.
Wow.
So she was able to do so. With me, when I watched that, I was like, what's my excuse? She didn't have no hands. But she didn't focus on that. She focused on what she had. So focus on what you have, not what you don't have, and use it.
Wow. We've had, we can't even get enough. I can't get enough of all these wisdoms and all these knowledge. And I just feel like, we need more of this. But if you want more of this, follow them. They're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all these grams, all these Snapchats, all these things. I'm not very down with them, but I'm trying by God's grace. Follow them and just enjoy their ministry, and you will surely be blessed. You will not regret it at all. If you are looking for a mentor, you're looking for a role model, these are the people that you should get in contact with, and by all means they will take their time out to speak to you. Thank you so much for watching the Youth Ablaze show. This is Youth Ablaze with InterFace Gambia, showing on Ben TV, GRTS TV and Mamos TV, and I have been your host, Joyce Stanley, with my co-host Jesse. Until we see you next time, take care. Bye-bye.